welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're well. I thought I'd start by another update. Suddenly another 20 more followers. So thank you so much for following me, subscribing to my channel. And thank you to those of you who've noted in the comments to say where you're from. So it's lovely to hear different parts of the United Kingdom you're from and elsewhere in the world, American states or different parts of Canada. And we've now got 0.2% of followers from Turkey and Switzerland. So welcome everybody. So if you haven't already told me where you're from, I'd love to know. So please do note in the comments. And before I start talking about what I've been up to in terms of my life generally, but decluttering and cleaning my house, I wanted to show you a couple of clips from the fete that we went to on Saturday. So this is an example of a English countryside fete. So this church has got parts of the building which is as old as our cathedral, so it's Norman time. The archway that you'll see in a minute is from 1200s. And I wanted to show you this, as this is an elephant, only it was carved by somebody that had never seen an elephant. So they just heard somebody describe what an elephant looks like, and that's what they came up with. So me and my daughter thought that was quite fascinating. You can also see the impact of Henry VIII on our churches, where you can see one of the figurines is damaged there. You can see St. Christopher on the wall, which is older than 1200s, so that really is quite incredible. You can see part of his face. The church is quite incredible really in terms of the parts of it being so old. The stone came from France and it was brought into a place called Acre on the way to the cathedral, our big Church of England cathedral in Norwich City, and this is some of the stone which made its way to Acre. I guess it stopped off here and some stone was taken before it then went into the city. And then you can see St. Christopher. You can just about make his face out. It looks like he's holding like a child or maybe an animal. And then you can see the archway there from a slightly different angle. So I just wanted to share this with you because I know quite a few of you are interested in history. So I thought, well, I'll just show you this tiny part of the video before I start on with showing you what I've been up to. So the first part of my tidying and decluttering time for this video is in my dining room, which has got into a bit of a state. One of you said to me, well, most of that I'm sure is your daughter's. You're right, it is. There's a lot of school books there. There's also an awful lot of washing piled up. In terms of school books, a couple of people said, well, can't your daughter just put them all in the basket? Unfortunately, the basket is overflowing, has got lots of craft items in as well, so there's not much space to actually put things away, to be fair to her. So I do need to sort that out to make it clear which items go where. Which made me think I need to declutter the corner of the room again. You can see that I stop and look around to see what things can I get rid of, because I'm trying to find the 10 items per room, aren't I? So I spend a little bit of time doing that. Just in terms of my challenge, so I've been doing really well with my 10,000 steps each day, but I did not achieve my 10,000 steps on Saturday. I stopped looking at my watch when it got quite late, and I was about 9,820. So I was really close, and then it was I completely forgot. I just went to bed, and I'm quite certain that I didn't do those 80 steps in the last part of the day. So that was an unknown. I think my watch beeps when I get to 10,000. It didn't beep, so I'm pretty certain I went to bed and I hadn't quite done it. And then Sunday, unfortunately, I completely forgot. The day was so busy, I completely forgot until I was then getting ready to go to bed about 11:30, midnight. And I suddenly looked at my watch because I'd completely forgotten, and I was on 7,500. And I said to my husband, oh, I haven't done my steps. And he said, there's no way, like at near midnight, you can then get like that many steps. Like near on 2,000 steps. and it's not good for you either to start, your blood pumping around your body and then try to go to sleep. So I've decided I'm going to add those days to the end of my challenge. So one day I didn't achieve and one day I just completely forgot. So I just need to make a point of looking at my watch throughout the day so I don't do that again, and try not to get to the end of the day and I've still got 3,000 steps, because you would not believe the numbers of times I've had to run on the spot, including last night. I know, so it must have been Friday that I did by mistake. Yes, so Friday I went to bed and didn't quite get it, and Saturday, because last night I ran on the spot for ages and managed to get the 10,000, so last night was Sunday. And then in terms of saying no, that's been going really well. I've said no to a packet of crisps, I said no to a chocolate dessert, I said no, I really fancied a second coffee in the day, and I said no, they're laden with sugar so it's probably good for me. And then I also said no to that big pile of washing, and what I mean by that is I've allocated taking washing up to my husband. Many of you will know that was my daughter's pocket money job, but that wasn't her making a fuss, that was genuine. Every time she took the washing up and put it into 3 piles, just stiving up all the clothes was really causing her to sneeze and cough, and given the pollen levels, she really doesn't need anything else to make her cough and sneeze. So I've made the decision so that then went back to me and I was doing it, hence why there's a massive great pile, because I don't like doing it and I just haven't had the time. So I said to my husband, this is a couple of months ago, but I just don't always remind him. I think I get frustrated having to ask someone to do things, but in reality, if I just ask, people do help. So I said to my husband, don't forget your washing job. All the washing's all piled up. You need to split it into 3 piles and take it upstairs. So he disappeared for a bit, and then I realised that he'd got all the washing in the lounge, and in front of the football he sat and put all of the washing into 3 piles, used all the different baskets, and then took the washing upstairs. However, when I then got to bed, he said, I've put your washing away for you. And he'd actually, I can't now find a single thing, but that's no different to when I put the washing away. But he'd squashed all my washing in my drawers under my bed for me. He'd put my pyjamas and underwear in the right drawer. He'd put my other clothes in the other drawer. And I couldn't quite believe it. I was like, wow, thank you so much. I did really emphasise how pleased I was. He's not yet put my daughter's clothes away. But he left them outside the door because she was asleep. But he's put all of his washing away and all of my washing away. So you can see how the video then goes to the corner of the room. There's a lot more that I need to do here. I just did real basics. I was just trying to find things that I could get rid of, that I could put into recycling, that were rubbish, or my 10 items, because I'm trying to do 10 items per room. So you'll see me sorting this out, and I do come up with 10 items in total. So some of the items are quite small, but there's 10 items for every room for my sale. So we wanted to update you on a few of your comments. So thank you so much for all of your comments, telling me where you're from, telling me what county you're in or what state you're in, what big city you're near. I love hearing where you're from, and thank you so much for your comments and ideas. So Casey, 625, sorry if I've pronounced your name incorrectly or your handle incorrectly, but she says, hi Emma, happy Saturday. I hope you all had fun at the fete. Regarding your second job, what is God saying? Do you need the job? Do you need 2 jobs? Obviously don't answer that here, it's your personal situation. Is this the time to lay it down, or does that not sit well with you? Read Decluttering. 10 things from each room is a really good exercise to get you thinking about what you need and like, but you still have too much for the house to contain. You're a very hard-working woman. You work 2 jobs, care for your daughter and husband, clean and cook, give yourself the gift of a house with much less stuff. You are right. You are right. I have got a lot more to get rid of, but with my 10 things per room, that was forcing myself back into areas that I've already recently cleaned and dusted and sorted. So that was why I felt it was quite good going back to those areas fairly soon after sorting them and finding something else. And what I haven't done when I first sort of cleared out some of these areas in layer 1 What I didn't do previously is think, do I really like this? Do I really need this? So this is enabling me to go back and think, actually, do I need all these vases? I mean, it's incredible how many vases I've got really, and not that many of them are used. In terms of my job, and you saying what is God saying, I have asked for guidance on this, but nothing yet has really been forthcoming. So just to tell you a little bit about the video and what you're now watching again. So in a minute you will see the items that I've decluttered. So the little craft set, a vase, an item of makeup, a little book and a rubber. Not much, but something. And then I open the cupboard and all the cards fall out, which I know many of you have said I need to get all the cards in the same place. I do, I agree. So I have said to many members of family, please you don't need to send a card. I've got the old card that you can write in, and I'm very happy with that. This year I found our wedding anniversary is fairly soon, and I found 2 cards, the exact same picture, and I asked my mother-in-law if she wanted to write in them, but she said no, she'd already got us a new card. So just going back to that comment, yeah, I have asked for guidance on this, but as yet I don't have a view as to what I should do. So I feel like I just need to be quite laid back about it and just see what happens. So if the form comes out and it's 20 pages long, and like I said the other day, if I've got to fill my CV in, that's going to take time because I've got to update my CV. I feel like if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So I'm just going to see what happens really. I'm just going to see, yeah, really what happens, how things turn out. I have been asked about doing extra hours for my first job, and I have said I might be interested in that. So again, I'll wait to see what happens with that. It's hard to know. In terms of whether I need the second job, I think it's always handy as a fallback because you never quite know what could happen. So if I got made redundant or lost one job, I've got the other fallback. If my husband got made redundant or anything happened with his job, I always think it's good to have a fallback. My next comment, Laura, she says something similar. If you can live financially for a while without the second job, tell them you're taking a sabbatical. Then take that extra time to do the things that you want and need to do around the house. That is good advice, Laura, although I do really enjoy the second job. There's a few things that are administrative that I don't particularly enjoy, but in the main, I really enjoy the role and I'm still learning so much, so I feel like it's stretching me. Whereas the role, my first job, which is the sort of management level role, I don't feel stretched in that role at all because I've been doing it for quite a while. So that's why it's quite difficult. I can live financially without the job. I only really took it because I saw it and thought, oh, that sounds really interesting. That sounds fun. And also that was when we were going through a review and I didn't know what was going to be happening with my first job. Yes, it's difficult to know, really. Carolyn says, I can't believe the amount of meetings you have for both jobs. Yeah, and what I've learned is that you can't have back-to-back meetings and expect to do write-ups of those meetings and follow-ups of those meetings. So I am trying to book in time so I don't then have to spend every evening trying to follow things up. Laura also said, which event is coming up next, your holiday, travel or your yard sale? Well, I'd love to get the sale done before holiday, but I'm not convinced that that's going to happen. We are getting now nicer weather, but I want to get rid of more from the house, so we have like a sale and we just get rid of loads. So it might be better to time it after we get back from holiday rather than trying to book in something else to think about before we go away. There's lots to think about. So it's probably better not to add another thing to the list. Because I'm away for 3 weeks, so I'm on holiday for 3 weeks in Italy, then I'm back for a week where I do a couple of days work. One day my husband will take my daughter out, and the other day she'll probably go to a family member's, like grandma or granddad, and then I'm off for another week, another 2 weeks I think. So this is how basically I juggle the summer holidays, by taking loads of holiday to cover the days, and then I do a few hours in the evening, so I manage to cover a lot of the holidays. And I do realise that I'm lucky with that really. I've got a job which enables me to work flexibly and so that I am there for my daughter. I managed to take, my holiday I always take for half term, Easter, Christmas, so we'll go out for days together. My husband's got 3 weeks, and then my daughter's birthday as well, which is right at the end of August. And then you'll see me in the lounge. So it wasn't that long ago. I know this does start, I now start looking at this in a different way, and I can see those shelves look quite cluttered. But I haven't gone in this drawer for possibly years, but the drawer was opened and not closed, and it's full of Fimo. My daughter got all the Fimo out, made some Fimo owls, and then haven't put the Fimo back. So I was just looking through this drawer. I found quite a lot of bits and pieces that had all got sticky and things had leaked, so I was just able to put them straight in the bin. So that was good. And I also found a few items that I can get rid of at my sale. So I was pleased about that. You can see I check some things on my daughter to make sure that she's happy to get rid of them. She was also telling me what some of the things are, because some of them appear to me as being a little bit random. She'll tell me, oh, this belongs to this set and this belongs to that set. Well, I've got no idea what belongs to what. So you'll see the next part of my video is all focused on this cabinet in this room, and I managed to get my 10 things. I think a couple of the rooms are going to be harder, like there's not much in the hall, so to find 10 things in the hall is going to be harder, although I suppose I could use the understairs cupboard, couldn't I? So I could take 10 things from the hall and from the cupboard, so that might be okay. But I started to think, like, for example, this room, I could probably find 20 things, so that would really stretch me. So I might come back and do that, depending on how I get on with the other rooms. So I posted a couple of clips from the Fae, but I didn't actually say how it went and about my weekend. So it was lovely, Fae. So thank you for those of you that wished her good luck and said that you hope that we have a nice time. It was really lovely. She played 30 minutes in her bands of all different songs that all could be recognised. I did do a little video clip, but then I decided I'd better not post it because YouTube might tell me off for copyright and they can close down accounts. So I thought I'd better be careful with that. Then she had about a 45-minute, an hour break, and then did another 30 minutes. Right towards the end of the first 30 minutes, it started pelting down with rain. And so they were undercover, so they finished off, and I sheltered under an umbrella with my mum. So my mum and her partner came along to watch, which was really nice. And yeah, they did fantastically. I'd not heard them since December. It was a really polished performance. There were lots of nice little traditional stalls. So like raffles, there was teddy bears coming down on the zip line, which I showed you at the beginning. There was some little goats and a few different stalls having a go, like rolling balls through the archway, what we call bowling for a pig. So it was really nice. So we really enjoyed that, and we were lucky with the weather for the most part. And then on Sunday, my daughter was then singing in a performance. So she sang the song from Lord of the Rings, the Dreams song. Really beautiful performance, a small children's choir. So the first part of it was jazz music. The second part was a 61-piece orchestra. And then there was a choir, which was really lovely. I felt very proud. And again, I was able to do a little video of her. I'm not too happy with how it's become with people just taking videos and putting them on social media. So I don't allow my immediate family to post photographs of my daughter and put them on social media. But then when she's at an event like that, you can't control it, can you? So I feel like I can't get upset about things that I can't control. But then I think, like, I don't allow the school to take photographs of her and put them on social media. But then I think, well, if strangers can take photographs and videos and post on social media, why don't allow now the school to? It's like you can't really control the image of your child, can you? How the world has become. So maybe I should change my mind. She's on different trips coming up, and that means, because I don't allow photographs of her to go on social media, that means I don't get any photographs at all. So she did a reading in the cathedral, which was lovely at Christmas time, and parents weren't allowed to take photographs. But again, because I'd said I'm not happy with her being on Twitter, that meant the school took no photographs. So I had no pictures of her role and what she did, which I was quite upset about at the time. So you can then see that I've moved things on the floor. So I've got a pile of bits and pieces that I'm going to put into the sale, and then a pile of rubbish. With the bits and pieces, someone recommend that if you've got like odds and ends of like beads and different bits and pieces, you know, the sorts of things that children end up with, to put them in bags and just mark them 50p. So I did originally want to do the sale so my daughter could raise some money for her holiday spending money, but as I said, I don't think it's realistic to try and squash it in. And then normally I don't work on Mondays, but today I'm observing a couple of court cases, so I'm going to be doing that all day, so that'll be quite interesting. It'll be very useful in a number of different ways, so I'll be there all day. So my normal Monday jobs won't be done, so I'll have to see how that works, including washing up from last night. So I think I'm probably going to change the craft cupboard from here. I'm not sure I really want the craft cupboard where it is. I'm not sure really I want all those things in my lounge, in my drawer, so I'm probably going to change that, and then yeah, sort of move things around a little bit. So I just wanted to say thank you very much to everybody that's following me. If you've got this far on my video, then thank you. I very much appreciate all your kind comments and support and ideas. If you haven't previously told me where you're from, I'd love to hear where you're from. Please note that in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.